Hello, YouTubers. This is Joe Bravo, Moebravo's Knife Reviews, and today I have 5 special knives that have made their way into my collection that I don't think will be leaving anytime soon. I know everybody has seen me with my Asuka. It's probably the knife I've had the longest. I just got back from a little bit of cleanup work from Nick Marshall over at Maverick Concepts, and man, every time I get this thing in my hand, I just am reminded about how much I enjoy it, how sweet of a knife it is, how I'm able to use multiple deployment methods, how great it is in the pocket, how the abalone pivot is so amazing to look at, how the Damascus clip fits in the pocket nicely. The stippling here gives you a great purchase when you go to deploy it. How there's enough clearance in the thumb stud to spidey flick the blade like I enjoy. How it's shorter than 7.5 inches overall. It fits perfectly into my palm swell so that I can deploy it just at about 7.5, which is really what I've been enjoying. It has a very useful edge. You can open packages. You can cut cardboard with it. It's a fantastic everyday knife. It is just about classy enough to do it as a dressy carry, and just about as functional to carry it every day, and not aggressive enough that if you opened it up and used it in an office workplace, that someone think that you brought a weapon into the workplace. So, man, does this check all of the boxes. Uh, to follow up with Maverick Concepts again, the Maverick Concepts 3-inch unnamed integral is another absolute favorite. I took this on the road with me this week. First time I carried and first time I traveled in a while. I just got this back. Nick again put a hell of a blade on it, sharpened it up. Just an amazing, amazing knife. It is 2.6 ounces. Just remember, in order to get 2.6 ounces out of one of my Roosevelts, I needed to get into the carbon fiber with speed hole. Even my flat, what was that, slab carbon fiber, fat carbon fiber without the speed holes, that guy was 2.8 ounces. This is entirely titanium. There's no carbon fiber. Yes, it has the speed holes. It still has roughly 3 inches of cutting edge on it. And again, a terrific, useful blade shape. This thing just disappears in the pocket, and it is fantastic. The Asuka weighs around 4.4 ounces, I want to say. I'm sorry, 4.2 ounces. So not a porker, but in regards to the 3-inch integral, you're talking about 2.6 versus 4.2. I mean, 1.5 ounces more, and it just disappears right in the pocket. It's terrific. Another knife that disappears in the pocket is the Eutsler Dukling. This is my fourth or fifth. I can't even count. It's got a darkened TI pocket clip, darkened TI studs, darkened TI pivot disc. It's running on bearings with Magna Cut and Stonewash, and it is everything that I wanted in a Duckling. I had that recurve Duckling V1, and I've been chasing a similar one since. I really like this milling pattern. The other milling patterns I had an issue getting it in and out of the pocket. This one I do not. It goes in and out like a dream. The Zerblast also makes it really great to hide scales or snails and show usage. No fingerprints. It is really, really amazing. And believe it or not, this thing only weighs 3.3 ounces. So what are you talking about? 4 and 3, 7/10 of an ounce more. I mean, than the 3-inch integral, and just look at how much more of a substantial knife it is. You get a lot more purchase. It is a little wider. It really fits my hand great. It's got a terrific action. It just deploys like a dream. You could say that sharpening that guy might be a little bit more difficult. I hit it up on the sharp maker, like 10 passes just to kind of touch up the edge as I got it used. And she was hair popping sharp again after hitting it up on the sharp maker. Let me bring the Asuka back in here. Then I know I've had this on the channel a whole bunch of times. This is the Anton knives Boudica with a little bit of piece of command strip so that I could spidey flick it. When I first got into knives, and if you've been following the channel, I used to love flippers. And I used to love flippers, but I used to have an issue with the frame locks. And Anton did a hell of a job with this new pocket clip, really giving a tremendous amount of purchase on that pocket clip to not ride the frame lock. And his detent is so strong and so crisp. You know, like when shooting a pistol, used to say it breaks like a piece of glass. And that's really how I could, use as an example to describe the detent on Anton's knives. And to be able to spidey flick it, I mean, just look how it fits right in the palm swell. It is just perfect. And I don't care to use the thumb stud all that much. So just having the contact command strip on the bottom side really just makes it perfect. And this pocket clip, again, it just disappears. You know, you have a 7.5-inch knife. It's at 4.1 ounces, so very similar in weight to the Asuka, and it just disappears in the pocket. So much of that arch allows it to just sit inside the pocket of your pants, whether it's jeans, whether it's dress pants. I've worn this with black dress pants, and this clip with a little bit of pledge multi-surface just makes it shine. And Anton's working on something secret. I can't go into big details with it, but if you're not following Anton Knives on Instagram, I really recommend it. He's going to put out something soon that's really going to knock everybody's socks off. The last knife that I have, I just got in. It's the SDK Javelin. I've had 4 or 5 SDKs. I know the Anthems made it to the channel, but I don't know if I've showcased any of the Anthems or the Nomad or even the Napalm. But man, I had a Javelin, I want to say 3 or 4 months ago. My buddy Tommy gave it to me, and I sold it to my friend Julia. And it's one of those things that when you have it and you sell it, you're like, man, I should have gotten that back. Oh, I never should have sold it, blah, 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 blah. And Steve on SDK Knives on his Facebook page had these up for sale direct, and I snagged a Magna Cut version, So now I've got the Dukling and I've got the Javelin, both of which are Magna Cut, both of which have terrific actions. And it's funny, I used to say the Asuka had one of the best stud deployed actions, but since getting my hands on the Javelin, it's really hard to say that, And I used to say the Duckling had one of the best actions, and it's really hard to say that now. And I used to say the 3-inch Integral had one of my favorite actions as it was so snappy. But son of a bitch, Steve set the detent up on this Javelin where you need a good amount of pressure to break it. And as soon as it breaks, the added weight of this blade and how it's directed towards the end of the blade shape really just fucking helps with the inertia and making this thing have one hell of a whack. And you gotta look at the blade stock. I mean, even the Asuka, look at the difference in blade stock. The Anton, look at the difference in blade stocks. The whatchamacallit, the Duckling, look at the difference in blade stock. I mean, none of these knives have such a thick blade stock that tapers down to such a thin edge. It's really cool. It's polarizing. A lot of people like it. A lot of people don't like it. It's kind of one of those blade shapes that you either love or hate. But when you get in your hand and you compare the action that blade shape gives you and the acoustics that the blade shape gives you, man, it's special. And it's part of the great thing of being able to get knives in your hand and try them out. You don't know what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you. So I just want to lay it out there. Some of the knives I got coming in that I think are going to stay around for a while. If you could see, they're all around that same shape. They're all around that same size. They all have a purpose. And I'm really fucking enjoying them. I really am. And I'm glad I had the opportunity to share them with you. So if you have any questions, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment specifically comment. Follow me on Instagram, Watson and the Shark. Follow my buddy Brad at Knives on the Secondary. Follow Anton, Anton Knives. That's Anton van der Vestusen out of South Africa. And my buddy James, who currently has my Mini Tempest. He put a fantastic custom Damascus pocket clip on it. So much so that SOB won't let me take it back. He's going to give me money and he's going to buy that knife for me. So maybe I'll convince him to get it back so that I could put it on the channel and you could see some of the stuff he's doing. But if you're not following him, it's James Muhlenberg at Instagram. I think it's I Make Sick Shit. IMSS. I'm going to throw it in the description. That way, if you haven't had a chance to follow him, he's doing stuff on coating knives, on Brian Brown knives, and now on the Mini Tempest, and really, really quality work. So thanks, guys, for taking a look and checking in. Hopefully, have some new stuff coming. And again, if you're not following me on Instagram, it's Watson and the Shark, all one word. And look forward to seeing you guys soon. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks.